Now, President Muhammadu Buhari believes state police is not an option for the nation. Calls for state policing have been made by several governors as a way to solve insecurity across the country. The president, who spoke in an interview with newsmen, alluded to the propensity for governors to abuse their powers as his argument against state police. Commenting on the security situation in the country, the president said traditional rulers must play a huge role in bringing peace to communities. He also advocated for more dialogue in solving the farmer-herder clashes recorded across the country. Now, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has made a U-turn and failed to name the sponsors of attacks in the state, contrary to the pledge he made. Speaking during the Imo stakeholders meeting at the government house in Owerri, Uzodinma acknowledged that he promised a fortnight ago to name the sponsors of attacks in Imo. But the governor craved the indulgence of the people that he would no longer mention names but would leave security agencies to do their work and prosecute those found culpable. According to Uzodinma, many of the persons carrying out attacks in the state have been arrested.
The good news is that we have rounded up the criminals and are now in our custody, in the custody of the law enforcement authorities. You will recall that as a government, we have repeatedly maintained that some of the security breaches were politically contrived. This was based on intelligence at our disposal. As the Igbo adage says, this saying, when a side is crying and pointing at a particular direction, it must be because either his mother or father is there. I want to tell you, after that statement, the whole issue has been politicized. Social media took over the space. Conventional media did not help matters. And I don't want to spoil the good work the security agencies are doing already. I want to crave your indulgence. So let us allow the security agencies to finish their investigation, arrest those who are responsible, and charge them to court.
Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, or Hanes and Dibo, has faulted the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, over the ban it placed on Nigeria national anthem across the zone. The IPOB, in its New Year message, banned the Nigeria national anthem as well as the consumption of non-native cows. However, in a statement issued today by the Ohanes Secretary General Mazio Kechuku Isiguzora, he cautioned that such an order would spell doom for the people of the region. The Ohanese scribe noted that the order will affect the ongoing diplomatic efforts to free Nnamdi Kanu. He declared that in order not to endanger the lives of Igbos, reciting of the Biafra anthem in public schools remains prohibited, forbidden and prescribed, as the Southeast is still an integral part of Nigeria. Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has refuted allegation accusing him of involvement in the election of a new paramount ruler of Idoma people, the Ochi Idoma. The governor, in a statement read by his press secretary, Mr. Nathaniel Ikyo, said the governor had no hand in the process. He said for the avoidance of doubts, the governor has no hand in the selection of any traditional ruler or chiefs, either in Idoma traditional area or Tiv traditional area. He added that at no time did the governor invite any traditional ruler of Idoma extraction or whatsoever to the government house for the purposes related to the selection of the new traditional ruler for the Idoma nation.
The disbelief and shock with which I read the press statement by the Ocheto Akidoma, raising wide allegations and describing the election in very uncomplimentary terms. It is rather unfortunate that a seemingly respectable organization like Ocheto Akidoma would come out with a statement disparaging a process adjudged to be fair and transparent, yet failed to point out specific instances of misnomer. The statement did not point at a single provision of the Chieftaincy Law 2016 that was abused. This law has been used in the past to elect first-class chiefs, second-class chiefs, and third-class chiefs successfully in Idoma land without complaint from any quarters, including Ocheto Akidoma. It is the same law that was used to elect the new Ochidoma, and no provision of the law was breached in the process.
The Lagos State government has cleared 5 students and 5 employees of Dowen College accused of complicity in the death of 12-year-old Sylvester Oromoni. The 5 students include Benjamin, aged 16, Michael Kashamu, aged 15, Edward Begwe, aged 16, Ansel Temele, aged 14, and Kenneth Iyang, aged 15. The state cleared them as well as the school following the legal advice of the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, Ms. Adetutu Oshinusi. This is contained in a copy of the legal advice which was addressed to the Deputy Commissioner of Police, State Criminal Investigation Department, SCID, and the trial magistrate, Magistrate Olatubosun Adiola. According to the advice, the interim and final autopsy reports revealed that Sylvester Oromoni died as a result of pyomyositis of the right ankle and acute bacterial pneumonia due to severe sepsis. The result of the toxicology is also not indicative of any toxic or poisonous substance in the body of the deceased. The DPP's legal advice therefore concluded that based on these findings, there is no prima facie case of murder, involuntary manslaughter, and or malicious administering of poison with intent to harm against the 5 students. The state also cleared the minors of belonging to unlawful society due to insufficient facts to establish the offense. The state therefore directed that all the suspects should be released if they are still in custody. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in Kwara has created a female squad to man security in schools across the state. NSCDC commandant in the state, Makinde Anyila, disclosed that the newly established squad is set up to checkmate the abduction of students from schools. Anyila, who announced this in Ilorin while briefing reporters on the activities of the agency in 2021, warned that the security outfit would deal ruthlessly with vandals this year in its efforts to prevent economic sabotage and safeguard government installations and other properties. He added that the NSCDC would work in conjunction with the Nigeria Customs Service to tackle smuggling across the border towns in the state. The Olubadan Council has held a press briefing at Mapo Hall on issues bordering on the installation of the new Olubadan of Ibadan land after the demise of Oba Saliu Adetunji Ajeogunkuniso I. The press briefing, led by the Ocho Olubadan Senator Lekan Balogun, will be joined by a correspondent, David Bello. David Bello, can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, David Bello? Okay, we'll get David Bello in a moment to give us updates on what happened and, of course, the happenings. Hello, David Bello.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David Bello. Good to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. We learned that you were at the press briefing at Mapo Hall, where the Olubadan Council sat. Please tell us what exactly happened.
Yes, currently at the Mapo Hall here, where the Olubadan Council is addressing members of the 4th Estate of the Realm right now, we have all members of the Olubadan Council, except for 1 or 2 others that are not currently present here. Initially, High Chief Tajuddin Ajibola was the one that started. He was the moderator of the briefing, and he told us emphatically that thus far, the whole rumor going about should be discarded, particularly as it concerns accession to the stool of the Olubadan or the throne of the Olubadan. And he said about 10 of them in the council are currently in support, that the council currently comprises 11 high chiefs, and about 10 of them are in support of the current high chief that should ascend to the throne of the Olubadan, because the Ibadan traditional system is an age-long practice. Then the high chief himself, that is of course the rave of the moment, that everybody expects to be the next Olubadan of Ibadan land, that is Senator Lekan Balogun. He also spoke to members of the press. Initially, he asked everybody to observe 1 minute silence for the late Olubadan, and of course described the late Olubadan as a wonderful man, a peaceful man, and that the death has been painful to all. And then he particularly now enjoined all to discard any rumor capable of disturbing the peace of Ibadan land, particularly as it concerns who becomes the next Olubadan of Ibadan land, that we should discard all. The members of the press have asked questions concerning legal tussles and rumors around town concerning who qualifies and who has legal issues or who has litigations and if some other persons qualified or not. Now, the high chiefs are currently addressing questions in that regard. I also want to inform you that we also have in this meeting our own chairman, Chief Bayo Akonde, is also by ascension, has also joined the Olubadan Council, is currently also in this meeting with the host of others.
Phenomenal, David. Thank you very much. Now, aside from Chief Adebayo Akonde and there are two Olubadan, can you give us a bit of a roll call of who was also present, the personalities present at the conference?
We have currently here, we have Chief Amidu Ajibade, is the Karun. We also have Abiodun Koladaisi, that the son of Chief Koladaisi is also a member of the council. We have Chief Kolawole Adebola. We also have Chief Owola Olakunloye. We also have Chief Dio Yiwole and Chief Tajuddin Ajibola. And of course, a host of others that time will not pay me to mention.
Thank you very much, David Bello, for your time. Thank you very much for being here with us and enjoy the rest of your day. All right, it's still the 1 p.m. news on Splash 105.5 FM. We'll take a short commercial break and then we'll bring you more stories from the foreign and sporting scene. Don't go away.
You know I like that kind of thing. Take me anywhere I will go.
Rejoice Place Supermarket. Ilé ìtajà ìgbàlódé tẹ́ ti lè rí ohunkóhun tẹ́ bá ń fẹ́ rà. Láìsí wàhálà tàbí pákáleke ti dùnnú ti fọkànbalẹ̀ làwọn èèyàn fi ń ná Rejoice Place Supermarket. Torí pé kò sóhun tí wọ́n wá débẹ̀ tí wọ́n rí. Oríṣiríṣi daily needs bíi beverages, toiletries, packaged imported and local foods. Ìyẹn àwọn oúnjẹ ilẹ̀ yá àti tòkè òkun tí wọ́n ti ṣe lọ́jọ̀. Ohun mímu ẹlẹ́rìndòdò lónìí rànran tó fi mọ́ imported wines lóríṣiríṣi. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àtèyí tẹ̀ rò lọ́kàn yẹn gan. Ìrọ̀rùn lọ́jà wọn, owó wọn ò sì gunpá. Tẹ̀ríntọ̀ yàyà ni wọ́n fi máa dá yín lóhùn. Láàyè tó rọjú, ẹ kàn sí Rejoice Place Supermarket lẹ́ni ní 42 Liberty Road by Bọ́láìgè bus stop adjacent DB filling station Òkè Àdó Ìbàdàn. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 081-8715-4256 tàbí 090-9888-0153. Wọ́n wà lórí àwọn ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ at Rejoice Place Supermarket. Joyce Place Supermarket. Òǹtajà pàdé òǹrajà. Gẹ́gẹ́ ṣe gẹ́gẹ́.
Building on the successful completion of our first session with attendance testimony of our professional handling of the classes, we invite interested applicants to enroll for the next stream at the Splash FM Media Academy, an arm of the West Midlands Communications Limited. Our mandate to restore professional excellence in the broadcast industry is still on course, and that's why we invite you to hurry up and enroll now for full-time and part-time intensive practical lectures in presentation, journalism, programs and content development, basic production and digital media, presentation in Yoruba, and so on, leading to the award of Certificate of Proficiency in Broadcast Journalism. Course duration is 6 weeks of intensive practical classes plus interactive practical mentorship sessions with veterans and industrial placement. To register, visit the Splash FM Media Academy beside White House, Felele, Ibadan. For inquiries, call 070-543-93332 or 080-569-98676. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we are at Splash FM Academy.
Àríkẹ́ ojú rẹ̀ ṣe akọrẹ lọ báyìí.
Bọ̀dá wà sún ewé fún mi lè oje, alọ́jà òya.
Ọjà àyà bíi ti bó, ó túmọ̀ sí pé ọmọ lo Mama ATM mọ́sọ̀bù ẹnu.
Bọ̀dá wà sí ìwé dákun, ewu tún ni Mama ATM POS.
Mama ATM ní gbogbo ntajà tó ní sọ̀bù ń lò báyìí. Ìwọ wo Sadé tó ní sọ̀bù nísàlẹ̀ ọjà lọ́hùn. Gbogbo gbala ń bára máa ń wo sọ̀bù rẹ̀ tọ́jà rẹ̀ sì ń yán kíákíá. Torí wípé ń lo Mama ATM POS. Èyàn nìkan kọ́ àwọn bára tó bá tó ara nǹkan lẹ́yìn dòdò ń sọ̀bù rẹ̀ àtúmọ̀ ara research card. Eléyìí tó tẹ̀ jáde lórí Mama ATM POS. Àwọn bára máa ń gbowó lórí
Mama ATM POS machine wọ́n á tó fi owó sórí decoder DSTV GoTV àti StarTime lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ sọ ti wá mọ ìdí tí sọ́ọ̀bù sadé fi gba ìbúbọ̀ ládùúgbò báyìí tó sì jẹ́ pé kò ṣe mọ́wọ́ ní gbogbo ń bára rẹ̀ ọ̀jẹ̀ yára tètè lọ gba Mama ATM POS káwọn ń bára rẹ̀ mọ ìyá ń kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí.
ó ní ṣe wá gba Mama ATM POS machine.
kàn sí Mama ATM ní nàbà 6A Ọ̀lànìyàn Fagbemi Street off Mobile bus stop lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ for the Live Center Ìyàgànkú GRA Ìbàdàn nílùú Èkó suite 18 Aláùsá shopping mall Ìkẹjà 0809 950 0554 Mama ATM gba owó pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
Welcome back. It's still the news on Splash 105.5 FM. Now turning to the foreign scene. The United States, Norway, Britain and the European Union have warned the Sudanese military against appointing their own prime minister, saying it would risk plunging the nation into conflict. The countries said they would not support a prime minister or government appointed without the involvement of a broad range of civilian stakeholders. The former prime minister, Abdallah Hamdok, resigned on Sunday amid a political deadlock and widespread protests resulting from October's military coup. The Western countries again voiced alarm at the military's actions against protesters. More than 50 have been killed since the coup. French President Emmanuel Macron has warned that he intends to make life difficult for people in France who have not been vaccinated against COVID-19. But political opponents said the strong language he used in the interview was not worthy of a president. His comments came as a bill on COVID passes was delayed by opposition members of parliament uniting against the government. The legislation was expected to be approved in a vote this week, but it has angered vaccine opponents, and several French MPs have said they have received death threats over the issue. Finally, in sports, stadiums at this month's Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon will have their capacity capped at 80% for the host matches due to the coronavirus pandemic. The African Football Federation said other fixtures in the competition starting on January 9th and finishing on February 6th will only be played in front of 60% of the ground's capacity. Sunday's opening match between Cameroon and Burkina Faso will be played at the 60,000-seater Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé. Spectators must be vaccinated and present a negative test before being granted entry into matches. Australians have reacted angrily to news that tennis player Novak Djokovic will play in the Australian Open after he was exempted from vaccination rules. All players and staff at the tournament must be vaccinated or have an exemption granted by an expert independent panel. Organisers said the defending champion had not been given special treatment. Australian Open chief Craig Tilley says 26 athletes had applied for medical exemptions and a handful had been granted under guidelines set by federal regulators. Just before we go, a recap of the headlines. Federal government has projected 10.7 trillion naira revenue target for 2022. Lagos State government has cleared 5 Doan College students suspect of Sylvester Oromoni's death. United States and European Union have warned Sudan military against naming own prime minister. And AFCON games to be played with 80% capacity crowd. For more details on the news, visit our website on www.splashfm1055.com. Now you can download the Splash FM mobile app on iOS and Google Play Store to listen live, get news updates, opinion poll, and also report an event live to us through the iReport feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5, then click to download. We have now come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station, and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawu, assisted by Ayo Olubusi. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the integrity station.
Here is
105.5.
105.6. One station.